officially begins June 1st, but we've already had one tropical storm, Alberto. Political Buzz is your rapid-fire look at the best political topics of the day. 3 questions, 30 seconds on the clock. Playing with us today, Jason Johnson. He's a political science professor at Hiram College and chief political correspondent at Politic365.com. And he's an independent. And with a view from the right, Republican strategist Ron Bonjean. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, first question. Colin Powell, the former Republican Secretary of State, talking about same-sex marriage. Listen.
In terms of the legal matter of creating a contract between two people that's called marriage and allowing them to live together with the protection of law, it seems to me is the way we should be moving in this country. And so I support the president's decision.
So he believes in same-sex marriage. Powell, a moderate Republican, is a popular guy, or was. According to a Gallup poll, his approval rating as Secretary of State was a whopping 83%. But the question today, could Colin Powell win a Republican primary today? I know he's not running for anything. He doesn't plan to, but I was just wondering. Jason?
You know, he could have made that statement about gay marriage like riding on the back of a unicorn with a 4-leaf clover hat, because the only thing more rare than a moderate Republican right now in the party is a Republican who actually sort of agrees and talks about science. The fact of the matter is, Colin Powell was in favor of affirmative action. He's in favor of gay marriage. He endorsed Barack Obama. There's no chance he could run today. There is no room for people like him in the modern-day Republican Party. That's one of the reasons why he's really sort of fallen off the scene over the last couple of years.
Ron?
Well, it's highly unlikely that he would win any Republican primary because, foremostly, he endorsed President Obama in 2008, and what Republican would want to vote for Colin Powell just because of that? And I also think evangelical Republicans would have a hard time supporting him on his gay marriage stance. However, having said all that, I don't think Colin Powell wants to run for president. I think that he wants to sell a lot of books, and that's what he's doing right now. He's on a book tour, and good for him. Hope he sells a lot of them.
No, he has no plans at all to run for public office, at least that we know of. Okay, second question. Lately, Mitt Romney is calling President Obama not a tax and spend fiend, but a nice guy.
This president, while he may be a nice guy, is simply not up to the task of helping guide an economy.
So what's the method behind the newly mild-mannered Mitt? Ron?
Well, it's a pretty smart move. I mean, I think it's twofold. One is he's focusing on President Obama's job performance, the fact that we haven't grown the jobs and grown the economy, the fact that he may be a nice guy, but he's just not up to the task. Another reason is because President Obama has a strong likability factor. What Romney is doing is he's doing an end run around that and focusing on the issues and concentrating on that, which is what really Americans care about. Because if you look at the direction of the country, people are pretty upset about where we are today.
Jason.
This is a brilliant move by Mitt Romney. This is his attempt to move from being Montgomery Burns to sort of Ned Flanders. You know, he's not the evil business guy. He's the nice neighbor. And he's like, look, I like Barack Obama too, but I don't really want him to stay in the White House anymore. I think it's a very good idea. Now, he's got to remember, though, just because people may decide that Obama hasn't done a good job doesn't mean they think Mitt Romney will do a better one.
Okay, on to the third question. Pinata politics. Have you seen the video of a South Carolina union leader hitting one? It sounds like some harmless fun. I mean, who doesn't enjoy venting their frustrations with the promise of a candy explosion? But the pinata has Governor Nikki Haley's face on it. You see it there? So if you're Napoleon Dynamite, and you're a fan of Napoleon Dynamite, you know that Pedro went to the principal's office for doing this to a summer weekly pinata. John King actually asked the big swinger what she was thinking.
It was not ill-intended. I have no hostility toward the governor. You know, she thinks that she's doing her job. I think I'm doing mine. They could have put a lot of issues on that pinata. My husband and I have been married 44 years. There are times you could have probably put his face on it, and he feels the same way about me.
RedState.com's Eric Erickson writes, were Nikki Haley a Democrat, the media would make this the front page story across the nation, racist Tea Partiers beating up the minority governor in effigy. Wow, is he right? Jason?
No, he's not right at all. Come on, let's be reasonable here. The reason the Tea Party has a bad reputation is because they keep letting people put up racist signs. But I do think this was a little too far, and I don't think this woman necessarily justifies beating on a Nikki Haley pinata by saying, yeah, I would have beat on my husband too. I think this isn't a really good place in our American politics right now. They should leave the pinatas alone and just focus on Nikki Haley's policy. She's doing bad enough on her own.
Ron.
Yeah, no, this is completely irresponsible and reckless on her part. I mean, you know, the fact is, if this was President Obama's face on the piñata, the media would have a frenzy about this being a racist attack. But this plays into the union type of thuggery of pushing people around. It wasn't a smart move, and it's something that reinforces stereotypes. Not brilliant, and if I were her, I would have apologized.
Ron, Jason, thanks for playing today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
A health scare for Elton John. We'll tell you why the 65-year-old singer was rushed to the hospital.
I just want to give her everything.
3 words, Dad. E-Trade, finance.